Good day and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, in the past few days, I've discussed about going through the fittings for each type of ship. So, one by one, I'm going to go through each of the Navy vessels because that's the best we can use at the moment. And I'm going to be going through all the fittings that you should put on it and where about your build should go if you're aiming for this manner. I'm also going to show you what to research for each ship if you're planning to uh, move with that type of ship going forward. And I'm going to show you exactly how easy it is to get ready to have the best ships with the best stats without spending a massive amount of ISK. Now, obviously, I have just started with this series of shipbuilding, but it's not the hardest thing to understand. Each ship is made to give you a benefit. Certain benefits don't give you much overall usage. Other benefits give you a massive overall usage, like flight velocity or weapon damage or weapon range. All of those are the things which most people are looking for. So, to start this video, I haven't yet gotten in any naval class vessels for myself. I'm more interested in holding on to my trainer and getting better with the ship. It's my opinion that running a trainer and working up is the best way to get good with the ship because it's in the name of the ship. It's a trainer class vessel. It means you use it, you work up until you at least capable of fighting something 2 or 3 levels higher than you. Then you go on to the standard or the naval class, and you have that full advantage of being able to combat those hard situations with the even stronger vessel. Okay, so let's dive straight in. Now, I'm not going to touch on the frigates or the destroyers in this video. I'm going to start off straight with the cruiser. And today's cruiser is going to be the first one on the list, if you can find the naval, which is going to be the Caracal. Okay, so before I go on into this video, please leave a like, subscribe, or comment on my video. And if you don't like the video, leave a dislike and leave a comment saying what is not right in the video. I welcome all criticism. Nobody's going to say anything about it. I only have 20 subscribers who I have to thank for subscribing to my channel. Okay, so let's go into the naval class vessel. Okay, so the first thing you're going to notice is the top. You look at what slots you have available. 1 drone, 5 weapons, 3 mid, 4 low. And then obviously your 2 rigs for weapons, 2 rigs for engineering. Okay, now let's go through the benefits on this vessel starting from the top. Medium missile velocity 5%. This means that your missiles move slightly faster. Means they're going to hit the target harder. Means that targets which move very fast are going to take a little bit more damage. And it's obviously going to benefit you in terms of not having to have to draw out a combat situation for too long. Activation time minus 2%. Now, I don't know if anybody has noticed this here, but you have a reload time basically on your weapon or a reactivation time. Minus 2% from 10 seconds or 20 seconds or 15 makes a big difference because it's that point something of a second that's coming off in a long battle that you're doing. It's going to have a slight impact. Might allow you to get in that second hit before you have to warp away, something that small. It may not seem that huge, but it is a big this thing. Now here comes the other specs on it that are a big time gain. 5% flight velocity, 5% scan resolution, and 5% sensor strength. Now, these 3 aren't really important. Your flight velocity helps you get away a little bit faster, gives you 5%. It's giving you maybe about 880 at maximum speed, if I'm correct. I'm not sure on my calculation on that. It might be somewhere near 860 depending on what afterburner you're using. The scan resolution, not really so important. Sensor strength, not that important. Now, before I go into the basic info, I'm just going to go over the stats again. I have shown this before and the differences between the ships. Now, you'll see that it has a nice 10,000 plus overall defense. It has a good 234 flight velocity, 3 warp speed, a nice output, a nice strong capacitor and the standard cargo hold. Now let's go into the basic info, and let's go to, there's no other traits. Let's go to the fitting. Now immediately when you look at it, you look at the armor, your shield. You get 4,144 for your shield. That's your shield strength, and once more, it's weak against EM attacks. Then you go on to your armor. It's not giving a figure. Oh, it is 2,797. That is your armor power. So what this means for your armor is it's going to take that much of damage to destroy it. And sorry, and judging from the way it's broken up, your armor is more resistant to EM and thermal damage than it is to kinetic and explosive damage. So that's going to be an advantage to you. If you're fighting ships which are pulling your shield away, that means you're most likely fighting in a Mar territory against the laser weapon users. And as I've explained before, if you are going into those territories and you're fighting big missions, change up your rig. Throw on the defense grid EM shielding, and you will get that little bit of extra. You might take only 20 per hit onto your shield, but it's a massive advantage for you in that fight. You're going to take a lot less damage. As I said, they can 4 hit your shield off. And yesterday I did have some footage of it, but I had to delete it because the video is corrupted. Okay, the next thing is your structure. Structure takes the same damage from all weapons. There's nothing to worry about. And let's go down with the rest of it. Capacitors, we already saw that in the stats. And flight velocity, everything is here, nothing major to that. Okay, so let's go back to the ship's menu. Okay, now if you go down onto your ship, right to the bottom where it says description, you'll find there's another 3 dots. When you tap this, you get a list of all the skills that affect this ship's overall performance. And as you can see, I have max basic cruiser command. I have a level 3 advanced cruiser command. I haven't unlocked expert command as yet. Cruiser defense is max. Cruiser defense upgrade is level 3. Engineering is level 4. Advanced is 3. My target management, I haven't even opened advanced as yet. I haven't opened up target management. Now these are all the things that affect your ship directly. When you improve all of this, you improve your ship. You improve the ships that you purchase. Everything that you get on your ship is now advanced to help you out. And it means better target acquisition, better range, better fighting. Okay, now let's get on to what you're going to fit up on this ship. Number 1, your drone. I actually have a ship here, which isn't naval class, but I have fitted onto it all of the best fittings that I could find for it. And I'm just going to explain this here in a little bit of quick terminology. So straight up going onto the ship and going into fittings. As you can see, it's a trainer. I like using trainers because, as I said, they're inexpensive to replace. All of my weapons are challengers. And I can also just show you what's the DPS per challenger, 30.35. Now you can keep 5 challengers on a ship. But if you look at my DPS from my 4 challengers, it's 187. So divide it by 4 and then times it by 5. That'll tell you what your DPS is going to be on your naval. Plus there's going to be the added bonus from that 5% of additional skills towards your medium missiles. So 187 divided by 4, that will be 45 per level in power basically. 45 point something, 46.7. Okay, you get it, it's quite a big figure. So you just add 46 to this and you're going to get 220 something damage just on your missiles. Now let's go on with the rest of the fittings. Remember, you get 3 mid slots instead of 2. My first mid slot weapon is going to be an elite Webifier. Now the reason why I'm running a Webifier is I play PvE more than I play PvP. I haven't even really PvP'd much. I've trolled around a little bit in one of the mining sectors, hit one or two ships while they weren't around, but that's just about it for PvP for me. So if you are doing PvP, obviously you're gonna swap out the Webifier for Warp Disruptor so that you can disrupt a person from getting away from you. The next fitting I have is the Norse Energy Drain. I also put on an elite, and if you're going for a third, the best third weapon, medium slot weapon for you to put is a troop, cattle trop, whatever you want to call it. That is also a very good weapon to use. The reason is you can knock an enemy down from being able to deploy a shield hardener, a shield boost. You can knock the enemy right down the moment you start damaging them and you see the recovering shield. And the moment everything is down in power, you keep hitting them and you keep activating this every 60 seconds. And it will keep knocking the energy down so fast that they won't be able to recover. Okay, lastly, I have a drone on the ship and I am running a medium class drone. Now, it's a simple reason why I'm running a medium class drone. It's the best for the ship. Obviously, when you're running, please remember to do the research for the drones on your ship. Otherwise, they're pretty ineffective in most combat situations. Even though I prefer playing the long range fighting tactic, I do drag myself too close to certain enemies when they are tanky. And I'll use my energy drain and my Webifier to increase the damage I can do. So those are the mid-slot weapons and the drones that you're going to use on the ship. Now I may be using this drone, but you can use any one of the four available medium class drones. And here's something else for you to see. If I can just open this. Each drone only does one specific type of damage. So if you're chasing after a vessel in Caldari space, you're going to go on with the EM damage ship. If you're running into a Mars space, I'm not sure which vulnerability most of the ships have, but sorry, but that is going to be what you are going to put on for your drone. It means that it's more effective against those ships, even though it won't be effective against the armor. It means you can tear through the shield very quickly, and you can start hitting the armor on the second run or the second round of fighting as you go through. Now, low slots. There are 3 options on low slots, and I'm going to go through them very quickly. You can run the defensive build, you can run the speed defensive build, or you can run assault builds. Now, assault builds, I just give them in a big bunch because it's only 3 real slots that you're going to use, and everything else is just a variation. So firstly, it's going to be your shield boost, your shield hardener, and your shield extender. Those 3 if you want to run a nice solid shield. And then depending on how difficult you want to be, you either run damage controller or you run afterburner. Now, there's a simple reason for using the afterburner. Gaining velocity means you take less damage. It works for just about any weapon damage hitting you. The faster you move, the more energy it seems that it dissipates because the weapon loses velocity on you. Okay, and going on to a full assault or attack based build, you're going to install an elite tracking computer. Okay, I actually do have one. You're going to install an elite muscle guidance, could help you get a little bit more damage. You can run that. You're going to run an elite heatsink. I'm not going to run a gyro stabilizer on this ship. Doesn't have the strongest armor. And after that, it comes down to the last 2 that you're going to run in this slot. You can either run the I don't know which one to run actually in this. You can either run the capacitors. Now, capacitor boosting battery wouldn't really be a good thing for the ship, even though its regen is really slow, unless you're running a defensive build with that for increased power. I would say the best thing to run in your last slot would be a simple afterburner to gain some speed on enemies. So that would be your 4 low slots. And then we'll go straight into your rigs. Now, rigging is pretty simple. You'll see that on my rigs, I have run speed gain, and I have run energy gain. Now, the reason I'm running energy gain and speed gain is I'm using the speed tank build basically on this vessel. I don't have full tank because I don't have 4 slots for my low slot. Now, if you're running this here in full tank and you know you're not going to evade any fire, you're not going to be running the speed tank, I would suggest you actually put in more energy based rigs. So you get less energy drained from you from energy drains, getting some resistance, getting some recharge time, or getting extra capacity. That's purely up to you. Now, your weapon side. I'm running a weapon build even though I actually have these core defense units for uh, my shop. This is actually what I'm supposed to be running. But I decided I want to do a little bit more damage because of the elites in the elite mission, the elite encounters, the T7 elites. So because of them, I'm actually running more damage on this shop. Originally, I had intended to run a defense build, but you can run defense 2 because defense 2 is really cheap, and most people are selling it away because they don't want to put heavy defense onto their ships. Now, the advantage with running the defense bonuses is you are going to get faster regen on your shield, you're going to get more shield power. All of those are the benefits of the shields. I've gone through it before with the other ship. But putting that on the ship is going to give you that nice sweet spot of power when it comes to taking in an impact. And this ship is basically made for a powerful shield and fighting with your missiles. Even though it only gives you a 5% missile boost, it's not really going to play a big part in most combat. Now, I just showed you the basics. Now, as you saw, there are more slots on the naval class, and the naval class isn't your final class of ship. When we breach T8, we are going to reach guardians and snipers. Guardians and snipers are the strongest of these basic ships that we have, and I'm going to keep going through them, figuring out builds for making them better. Now, a lot of people will tell you to double up on rigs or double up on certain low slot items. Low slot items and rigs, when you deploy double of the same item, you lose effectiveness. I'm saying this here multiple times because I have this one teammate who always plays double of the exact same rig and 3 shield boosts. But he always takes too much of damage and he doesn't understand why his shield doesn't regen fast enough. And it's a simple reason. They reduce effectiveness when there's more than one. So running 3 shield regens, you may be able to regen your shield 3 times faster, but you're regening a third of what you normally, or a quarter of what you normally regen in each one of those slots. So you're taking more damage, you're using more power, and you're not gaining anything for doubling or tripling up your shield boost or your shield extenders. Actually, shield extenders, you're still going to get a little bit extra on it, but it's not really going to help you in terms of combat. And that's the overall on why you don't multiply your engineering rigs and your low slots, because double of anything means a reduction. Double afterburners, if I'm correct, will reduce your speed. So in other words, if I could do 820 with 150% boost, you're only going to gain another 40 kilometers on that run. That's going to give you 860, 880, somewhere in that range. I'm not sure on the exact top speed that I can reach. But you realize that that 40 that you're gaining isn't even that 140% for that particular engine booster. And the energy drain that it gives you is greater than the gain that you're making in power. So you're actually losing more power on your ship for a small gain. In some cases, it might help you, but not in most. This video is getting very long, so I'm going to cut it out there, and tomorrow I'm going to return with the next ship in the naval class, which I'm going to go on to in that list which I showed you in the market. So thank you for watching. Have a good